Good evening everyone, especially to our instructor, Dr. Roger Anthony Gamali. I am Fidelister Lungay Panchito, B Scream 2. In this video, I'm going to make a report, a 20 minutes report from the subject CFLM 1. My topic is in Chapter 1, Filipino Influences, Traits, and Characteristics from the book Character Formation 1. So, the Philippines is a meeting point for cultures for all over Asia and the Pacific because it has been a crossroads between East and West, and the merging of cultures reflects the country's culture and its people. It comes from various ethno-linguistic groups that are native to the islands or migrants from various Asia-Pacific regions. Filipinos are the people who are naturally born to or recognized with the Philippine country. China, the United States, and Spain mainly influence the modern Filipino identity. Though Filipinos are racially similar to Malays, but in terms of culture, they are more like the Spaniards. Thus, it could be claimed that Filipinos are the most hot-blooded and brave citizens in the tropical Asian cultures. Like other countries, the Philippines has its opposing values and countries. The Philippines has its opposing values and labels. It is believed by the Filipinos that the country have the best values in the world. Though it has experienced colonizations by several countries, but the core values it has gained from the Filipino ancestors remained intact and are still honored today, like the bayanihan or spirit of kinship and camaraderie implanted by Malay ancestors and close family ties inherited by the Chinese ascendants. So, the most well-known traits and attitudes of the Filipino. So, there are two types of traits. One is positive traits, and the second is negative trait. So, let's proceed to positive traits. There are 6 types of positive traits. First is hospitality. Hospitality is a trait displayed by every Filipino characterized by heartwarming generosity and friendliness exhibited to foreigners and locals alike. Filipinos are well known for being hospitable. This is one of the most popular qualities of Filipinos. Hospitality of Filipinos is shown in the following sample situations. First example is when a person visits a friend's house, the host greets him or her with a very warm welcome. The host will immediately let their visitor sit down and will prepare a meal or a snack plus drinks for the visitor. The host will insist that the friend not leave the house with an empty stomach. A host will always make sure you had a great time visiting them. Second example is people offer their guest room to visitors if they're going to spend the night. comply blankets. The third example is meals offered to guests are very special. A host always finds a way to prepare great tasting food that her visitor wants to eat. Second is respect. This is often observed not just by younger people but also by people of all ages. All ages in the Philippines, respect for one's elders is a tradition. For example, po and po. These words are spoken by the Filipinos when talking to elders or in order to show respect to persons in authority. These Filipino words mean yes when answering or talking to the elders. Second example is pagmamano. Another way of showing respect to the elders when greeting them. This is done by putting their elders' hands on their foreheads. Filipinos also show respect at work by making a bow to their employers. Third, parts of positive traits is strong family ties and religious. Filipinos value their families so much that they tend to keep families intact through the generations. Families go to church and pray together because their religion is important and creates a strong bond, marking God as the center of their lives. Fourth, generosity and helpfulness. Aside from being hospitable, Filipinos are also well known for being generous. They share what they will known for being generous. They share what they have to the people around them even when they only have little. This could be felt during birthdays, weddings, or fiesta party. When visitors came to celebrate, great tasting special foods are specially prepared for everyone. It is shared by friends, families, or even strangers. Fifth is strong work ethics. Another good thing most Filipinos have is being hardworking people. They are always willing to work almost the whole day to provide the needs of their families. Filipino farmers, though earning so little but they work harder with not much compensation. Six, or the last belong in the positive traits of Filipino is loving and caring. Because of their generosity, hospitality, and religiosity, Filipinos are found to be the sweetest and most loving people in the world. It is expressed by both foreigners and Filipino women that most Filipino men are so sweet and romantic when it comes to love. They will send their beloved flowers, bring her to a very romantic place, text her sweet quotes, and tell often how special she is to them. So, when there is a positive traits of Filipinos, there is also a negative traits of Filipinos. And there are 15 belongs in negative traits of Filipinos. First is fatalism, or bahala na or come what me attitude. When Filipinos are facing difficulties and shortcomings, they have this attitude of leaving it up to God to sort things out. An attitude of what goes around comes around. Filipinos have a tendency to surrender the future to luck. Second, manana habit or procrastination. True-blooded Filipinos have the attitude of causing delays in accomplishing things or making transactions when not interested or not in the mood. They wait or reserve until tomorrow or the next day to finish what they are doing or meeting their transactions. However, there are some Filipinos nowadays who take their time in doing things or in making decisions promptly. There are some who are habitually late or not showing up at all. There are few Filipinos who are punctual for social meetings. Punctual for social meetings. In fact, it is not expected of them to arrive exactly on time, especially at a party. The bahala na attitude is the outcome of the manana habit. When the tasks are left undone, this is usually shown and even expressed by people who do not care much of what lies ahead and just leave everything in fate. The third is crab mentality. This is an attitude of some Filipinos where they tend to push each other down to clear the way for their own gain. Filipino people with this kind of mentality or attitude try their best to ruin each other, either by making issues against the other for him to turn out bad to the public or to the company or organization, so that people will gradually put distance and lose their confidence and trust that eventually result to their replacement. Fourth is hypocrisy. This is a trait of Filipino where criticisms to other failure to live with the moral standards of the society are inevitable. Fifth is ningas kogon. Most Filipinos are very good at the start when doing something. Nevertheless, after a few hours or days, the excitement to do or accomplish something is lost way and become too lazy to finish what we have started. Excuse me. 6 is tardiness or Filipino time. Only in the Philippines that we have the so-called Filipino time, but not exactly referring to the Philippine Standard Time. But then again, we use it to refer to the tardiness of the persons that we are waiting or who keeps on coming late to the set time schedule of events. 7 is gossiping. Filipinos are fond of talking about other business. It is not true that only women are into gossiping. 8 is blaming. Filipinos can sometimes be too self-righteous. When mistakes happen, we do not want to take the blame. We lack humility to accept our failures, and instead we point at others. 9 is selfishness or being insensitive of others. Most Filipinos are insensitive to the needs and situations of others. This could be an outcome of having too many problems that Filipinos are facing, and the tendency is to focus on their own needs first before others. 10. Disobedience to simple rules and instructions. Some Filipinos, despite of the understanding of the purpose of laws and ordinances, have inability, victimization, and accident rate in the Philippines are constantly rising. Poverty is getting more rampant and lifestyle development is relaxed. 11 is attention taker. Filipinos are fun and people-loving race. Thus, attracting attention is natural for them. Nevertheless, it is a different thing to be an apple or kapalmuks, simply being an attention grabber. 12 is being onion skinned or too sensitive. Another habit or attitude that we need to change is our being too proud, which usually results to being oversensitive. 13. Living beyond their means or social climbing. One of the reasons why a lot of Filipinos live in poverty is because of overspending. 14. Passivity or lack of leadership. Filipinos' lack of initiative for change is also one reason why our country does not progress. 15 is other negative traits. Some Filipino women give birth at an early age, 16, teenage pregnancy. Some just don't mind their own business. Some have many bad habits like drinking, smoking, and etiquettes. Those are the positive and negative traits of Filipinos. Let's proceed to Filipino character and personality. 3 main traits underscoring Filipino values. First is personalism. Filipinos valued interpersonal relationship. It is firmly believed that harmonious personal relationship is the key to successful endeavors. Second, familialism. Filipinos are family-oriented. Development programs and projects in the community are concentrated on the family. Third is particularism. Displayed behavior by the individuals, may it be good or bad, is blamed against the family. Filipino values orientation. So, values orientation. Values orientation is the approach that may influence work or social relationships by persons relating to objects, events, and ideas. 3 main obligations underlying Filipino value orientation. First is pakikiramay. It is in the Filipino value of going out of the way to help without being asked unsolicited help. Second, pakikisama or smooth interpersonal relations. Regardless whether someone's views are agreeable or not, Filipinos are capable of getting along with it. Camaraderie, trust, confidence, and loyalty are enhanced and developed by this Filipino value. Third is bayanihan. As mentioned in the preceding topics, Filipinos are able to render services and generous enough to extend help without compensation. Somebody can request help in time of need from those to whom it is extended. Fourth is galang or respect. Filipinos are basically oriented to revere to the opinions of elders, peers, or those in authority during important discussions during social encounters. Verbal clash or any sign of extreme familiarity in public meetings is a sign of disrespect to elders or persons in authority. And that would be all. Thank you.